team news first of all, David. Who's back, who's not back, and who are you leaving out?
I'm not telling you who I'm leaving out, but in terms of the squad, yes, you can ask. In terms of the squad itself, the only two that are unavailable, technically, would be Dylan Levitt still and Rudy Molotnikov. Joe Newell and Alassane Mane have trained all week, which is really positive. And Warren Horror's trained all week, so he was one of the ones that we've obviously been looking at with his shoulder. He's came through all week as well, so it's only the two players that are technically unavailable.
So having Joe back in a match day squad, again, what does that do, maybe not even on the pitch, but for morale? And I know he's been around the group as always, but to actually have him walking into a dressing room with his boots ready to play.
Well, it's positive for him. I think firstly it's been a long fight for him trying to get fit since it was December before the last time he played, so it's been a long fight for him. I've noticed it even the last couple of weeks in training, having him around, driving the standard and intensity within training is a real plus. And then, as you've just rightly said, there just being around it, even just for him, it's just a real boost. You know, I know he's been out for a long time. There's an international break coming up. We have arranged the bounce game as well, which will be really significant for the likes of him and Lass and boys that haven't played as many minutes to make sure they're all getting minutes. So that's, as I say, the squad is in a good place physically, which is positive.
The last couple of games, you've been pretty vocal about the disappointment in the performances. What have you done to work on those over the last week? Because it's been a free week this week.
I think I think when you look at it, I was vocal in terms of the first half performance against Livingston, but I also think second half were miles better. I think it is also very fine margins, which I'm speaking to the players about. If you look at just that one game, did we do enough to win the game? I spoke about it after it, but on reflection, when you see the chances with Kieran Bowie one, you could have found yourself 3-1 up pretty quickly, and then that's a very different day. I go back to the Rangers game, miss a penalty. There is, it is very fine margins. But one thing I've always said to the players, and I say all the time, is we can't worry about things that have happened previously. It's about learning from it and moving on and making sure that we get better all the time and trying to put more complete performances in for 90 plus minutes. If you go before the Rangers game, the Aberdeen game, for example, was a really strong performance. All the stats and data back that up as well. But the only stat that matters is winning games of football, and I know that's firstly my job, but the players internally, as I say all the time, are in a good place. I don't think we're far away at all, but it's going to take a big performance on Saturday night, because it's a real tough place to go against a team that are always very well coached, well organised, strong, physical, so we fully expect a tough game on Saturday.
You mentioned Kieran Bowie there, who's obviously not in the Scotland squad as things stand. Did you have to have a word with him, or did Steve Clark have a word with him and give him the reasons why he wasn't in?
Yeah, I believe he spoke to Steve, but I think for Kieran, I think he's just a young boy, 22-year-old. Last season, bad injuries, bad injury before that. He's not played a lot of football. Said that even at the start of the season. There's a lot of improvement still to come from Kieran, which is great. And he's still hungry to do that. He's probably, if you ask him on a personal level about goal contribution, he would always got strikers want to score goals. But I think it's my job to get him in positions to try and do that and try and help him with that. So I think all in all, he's in a good place. He knows, with young players, you don't always have that level of consistency at times. He's fighting against some things, but he's also providing what we're asking him to do, which is positive performances, and he just needs to keep going and keep seeing that as the end game for him. If he keeps playing well, Steve's already shown that if he can get to the standards, that he's not far away for the Scotland setup, which is a brilliant place to be.
You mentioned players coming back and a healthy squad. Does that mean potentially mixing up a little bit this week, team-wise? I
think you're always looking at it all the time. I think it's a difficult one, because it's the fine margins between thinking that you're miles away and ripping everything up. That would be more of a case for that. I don't think we are at all. I think I say it all the time, competition for places. That's something that is really healthy within the group. You see it even in training, the standard in training, and having all larger numbers back in training, and that level of competition really drives the standard. And players know that when they get the opportunity, they have to play to a level to make sure they retain their jersey. And I think the group have been really good with that, positive around when you're not playing, reasons why, and then more importantly, supporting it and everyone sticking together. And I think, as I say, it has been very fine margins of late. And we need to make sure that we turn these good performances into complete performances in 3 points.
St Mirren at the moment, finally, just 3 points off the bottom of the table, but they're in the League Cup final. I think a lot of people were surprised at where they are in the league, and the number of points that they've picked up as well, probably similar to Hibs, they'll be thinking that they should probably have picked up a few more.
Yeah, I think it just shows you this league. I think that's no surprise, is what 2 wins can do to anybody, what 2 defeats would do to anybody, how tight it is at this moment in time. Again, we're only 11 games into the season. It's very, very early days. It's only 1 round of fixtures. It's the second time we'll be playing St Mirren. So in another 11 games, it probably becomes a bit more understanding of where you're going to be and what you're going to be looking towards. And even at that point, it will still be really tight. I know it will be, just because of the competition and the standard within the league. So I think at this moment in time, we're concentrating on ourselves. I've spoke a lot there about more to come from the group, and feeling that there has been fine margins and should be better, but we're still sitting third. So I've been very quick to remind the players of that, especially when we were this time last season. So I think there's a big difference in that, and also that's a good place to be, that players are driving to be better, and players are driving and probably feel like we've missed a few opportunities. You just said St Mirren might feel the same. So it is, it's a very competitive league, and I expect a tough game on Saturday.
St Mirren have been impressed with them though this season.
Yeah, I think they've added well again. I think he does really well in building his squads every single year, Stephen. I think he's put together a real strong physical side, but they're always very well organised. They carry a huge threat, real legs in the middle of the pitch, so you know that's what you're going to face when you go down there. Set pieces, huge part of the game as well. So, no, it's got all the makings of a good game, but we go into it, as I just said, having had a full week's training and aiming towards trying to get 3 points.